Hello, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. And first, I just want to give kind of a shout out to all of the people making comments on the videos. Thanks so much. I love the interaction. Keep it up. The more I get that, it's not only good for me, because I like to respond to my viewers, but it's also good for YouTube. It lets them know that there's more action going on with the channel, and it pushes the channel out so other people can see it. My only goal right now is to just get the channel out to as many people that might be interested in seeing it. I know I don't have the most crazy, wacky channel with the most, phenomenal production value, but I like what I do. I love sharing out my content. I love sharing out my collection, and I just want to make sure that people are aware of it. So, leaving comments and putting that like and subscribe and getting other people to subscribe, and it's all the great stuff that we can do. So thanks so much for that. And today I have a very big box, and the term box is a really good thing because I stumbled across something new here. So this is from what I believe is a group called Rogue 5 Toys. And they are I guess they are sort of a store, if you will, but they buy and sell vintage Star Wars collections along with other vintage types of toys from the 70s and 80s. But they don't, to my knowledge, maybe they have a store front, but where I found them was on Facebook. It was a Facebook group that I had to join. So that's what I did. And the way they work is they seem to be very popular. I learned about them through Star Wars Daddy, which, if you've been watching my channel, I purchase stuff from him almost on a weekly basis. And then I open it up here and review it on the channel. But I have to say that in this case, it was a very unique type of thing. Now, there are these Facebook groups that essentially people will put out items to sell, or even just say, they'll put a picture of it. They'll say, here it is. It's let's say, Stormtrooper figure complete with his blaster, asking $15. And then if somebody in the comments puts claim, then they get it. It's kind of like a claim sale, which I've done those on this channel. But first of all, the Rogue 5 Toys has done it in ways that I never understood. I mean, so much different. In that, first of all, they're really popular because they'll put something out there. They'll put a pretty reasonable price out there, and it almost instantly sells. Like, you have to be like living on Facebook and looking at their feed and waiting for stuff to come up and then hit claim, like if you want it right away. So, it seems like that. I mean, there are times where things take a little longer. So I've been able to stumble across a few things. Another unique thing that they've done, and I've seen other people doing this as well, is rather than you make a purchase and they send it to you right away, you send them the PayPal payment and they send you the thing right away, they offer a reduced cost if you kind of make up a box. So in other words, you, rather than get it right away, you just, buy it, pay a little bit less money, and they put it in a box for you and they hold it for you. And then, you work your way down, another day or two or three or a week goes by and you see something else that they have. And you like that and you claim it and you get it, but they put a slightly reduced price if you put it in your box. I think it just saves them and you the shipping cost. It's cheaper for them in the long run to ship one fairly size, medium size box. I don't know if it's cheaper for them to send a huge box, but a medium size box they can send for cheaper than sending you little box after little box after little box, that kind of thing. So I was making purchases, and finally they said, we want to send you the box. I'm like, okay, so here it is. This is the box. And I'm going to unbox it now and show you what's in the box, because there's some really interesting things, a whole slew of different types of things. And you know me, I always like the weird and unusual, partially because it's cheaper and partially because it's something that I can afford so because it's cheaper, and I can put it up with my vintage stuff here. So most of this, I think, is for personal collection. We will see. All right, lots of bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. Wow, he really did a good job with this. But I'm just kind of making sure there isn't anything, because I don't think I did too many things. One of them is fairly big, though. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to try to save that for last. Oh, all right. Well, first thing's little. Let's start with this. This is nice. This This is what looks like a little comic. I believe it is actually, I'm take a look at this. I'm very gentle with it. Yeah, it is. It's a troop it's something that came in the troop transport box. And when you bought the troop transport, the Imperial troop transport with the buttons that make the sound. So this is a little comic or a little story that they included with the vehicle, which I thought that's kind of cool. So it's got a couple of comics, got a couple of pieces of imagery. So they were asking a certain price, so I'm going to actually place it in my display right up here with the troop transport. All right. Now, packing peanuts. This I did not order, but apparently it is a Fisher-Price sticker. I think I know why that came in here. I think it was probably on the box of something that I bought that fell off. So, all right, let's see. That's the only thing. No, I know I got some. Wait, I am gonna use this to try to catch all the packing peanuts. I might run this at high speed, so if I'm talking really fast, that's why. So, I want to make sure I don't have anything else in here, but I don't know, maybe I do. I can't remember, honestly, what I got. Anything? Oh, yeah, there we go. There's some other ones here. All right, we got. Yeah, they had an interesting thing they were doing. First, they had a bunch of capes. These were all, you know, a bunch. It was like a bunch of capes. Most of these are slightly torn. Some Vader capes. It was like a lot, and it was included some Vader capes, some Tusken Raider capes, a Princess Leia cape, some Obi-Wan capes. I think it's got a Weequay skirt and a broken TIE Fighter cannon, which I really don't know why they sent. I mean, that was just part of it. So I got it because I feel like there's some figures that I had that are decent, but if I can get them in a cape, even if it's got a cape with a slight tear, I could probably resell it for $1 or $2 more. It might be more interesting to them. So that's what these are for. So I'll try to align them with the figures I have. But the other thing they were doing, which I thought was fun, was they were literally selling like a whole bunch of Obi-Wans. I've literally now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 Obi-Wans. And quite a few of them have sabers. Now, none of them have the tips on them, but a bunch of them have sabers, so that's cool. And in addition to that, to the 17, I also got a kind of a little Endor pack. You know, one of the Ewoks, 2 Leia Endors, and 1 AT-ST driver. So, you know, I'll go through these, and you might have an opportunity to own some of these, because I'm thinking about doing, you know, I don't know when this video is going to go out, but I plan on having a Whatnot weekly show where I'll do Whatnot sales, probably like on Sunday nights or something. And I'm hoping to do that. I have my first sale set for the November 30th. So I hope to maybe get this video out before then, which is like the Thanksgiving weekend. So that's one thing. So that's cool. And I hope to be involved with that because I'm just trying to figure out different ways, easier ways that I can sell off some of my collection. I want to do a vintage loose figure one. I don't know if I want to do anything really big because the shipping can get a little bit outrageous, but I might do I mean, you know, I want to start small. I want to do vintage figures. I want to do modern figures, loose and carded. And I want to do maybe some Black Series figures, mostly loose, maybe some carded figures. So we'll see how all that goes. What else we got? Oh, we got another thing here. We got, I think I have another 12-inch Stormtrooper, which is actually a decent Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper. But this one is complete. It does, in fact, include his blaster. So, little bit of yellowing, but not bad. So that's a pretty cool figure. I might put that one in my collection for a bit. But I already have one, but you know, you never have too many Stormtroopers, right? So I'll put that one in there perhaps for a bit. All right, so I think that is all of it except for one item that I have to get out now. This one, definitely gotta make sure that I didn't miss anything, right? Okay, I did not. This is something that fits in the what was he thinking category. But it is kind of a cool thing, and it comes with the box, so I decided now I gotta figure out a place to put this and display it. But okay, so let's this is so when Return of the Jedi came out, they had a whole secondary series of toys that I had no interest in. And that is because it was, you know, painfully obvious. It was meant for you know, preschool kids. And that is the Ewok Family Hut Play School toy. So, yes, I went out and I've been purchasing some of the preschool toy items. And I've been excited to do that because for display purposes, I think it's kind of nice. So this was, you know, a mostly complete, if not fully complete, toy. Now, I will say this, in full disclosure, I do believe this might have been I believe this was a repurposed toy before Ewoks. I think they had something like this hut that existed prior to Return of the Jedi. So, just saying. But I still thought it was cool. It comes with, yep, we've got a nice set of characters here. We got the bunch of the Ewoks and their playset and their donkey creature and their carts and everything else. And then we have, of course, oh boy, get this out. Yeah, so we have the little playset. So I just, you know, I thought it was cute. I thought it was cool. I think it might fit in one of these displays. I'm hoping it does. Although I do like having the box too, so I might try to make that work. So we'll see. But oh my God, it's like a sticker here that's so old that I don't even know what it was. But you know, it's a decent. The toy itself looks like it's great. It looks like it's brand new. And I think this thing kind of rises up or something, if I'm not mistaken. I have never had one of these growing up. Again, as I said, it was kind of beyond my years at that point. Oh, I think this is like an elevator, right? Is that what that? Yeah. Yeah, there's an elevator there. Okay. So, oh yeah, there it is. It pops up like that, right? So, it's a cool little play feature. It looks a giant mushroom, basically. But I was really excited to pick it up. It was a very reasonable price. It wasn't anything crazy. And yeah, I think I don't know if it's complete or not, but it does include a bunch of the figures. And it was funny. I know that I was considering purchasing some of the figures from Star Wars Daddy, put them on eBay, but they were going up in price. And I think I ended up paying the same price for the entire set that they were asking, that the eBay auction went up for the 4 little figures. So I got to figure out a way to display this. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. But I have started to develop a little collection of Ewoks, you know, the Ewok playset figure. So I am excited to have that. Yeah, it looks like, you know, they show what's in here, and it looks pretty cool. So I've been really loving finding the weird vintage things that I haven't been able to get, that I didn't get, either I wasn't interested. I'm never going to complete the collection. You know, I'm really not. I know it's impossible. I mean, even before Episode 1 came out, there was so much Star Wars that was available that it just made no sense to try to complete it. Even Steven Sansweet couldn't actually do that with his whole Rancho Obi-Wan, so I'm not going to try. But it is just fun to hunt for different things and say, oh, look at that. That's interesting. That's some, you know, and then kind of come up with that. So happy to have added this to the Darth Tuba personal collection. And as for the figures, they will go proudly into the boxes for my Whatnot sale. Try to get some of these Kenobis up and you know, cleaned up and looking better. This will go into my my display here with one of the transports I have. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Bluesky. And as I said, check me out on Whatnot. Do a search for Darth Tuba. Do a search for Star Wars sales. And you will see Darth Tuba's, I'm using the same moniker, the same title. And what I'm really hoping to do is start to combine and kind of do what Star Wars Daddy's doing with YouTube and eBay. Try to do the same thing with YouTube and Whatnot. And have a back and forth, kind of a weekly sale. And I'll kind of do an update on it. And maybe even, you know, kind of create a little bit more live content, a little more short content. I'm just doing different things. Trying to get the channel some more momentum as I'm looking into my career, my eventual career change when I retire, and maybe start doing this a little bit more full time. So again, all those people making comments, keep doing it. Thank you so much. You know, tell me what you think of this. I know a lot of people are like, the Ewoks, what the heck, you know, but I just love it. You know, I love all Star Wars, and I love that this was just a part of the zeitgeist that was Star Wars. That 1983, 84 realm, when they were really trying to break into the Fisher-Price preschool thing, you know, and you know, they had the Ewok cartoon, and they had comics, and they had all sorts of, you know, party supplies and everything else. I love that as well. I think that's really cool, and it still feels like Star Wars, but it's different, kind of Star Wars adjacent. So I love it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time, it doesn't matter what age group